Hello and welcome to Health with Kylie and Kylie podcast. I'm Kylie Ham.
We're talking all things nutrition and the basics, terminology around nutrition, the importance of it, and just some myths that you might have heard along the way. But first we'll start with a bit of a life update. Kylie, how has your week gone since we last spoke?
Yeah, it has been pretty crazy. Like last week we recorded, I was on the Gold Coast. So my daughter was in national dance championships. They went phenomenally well. So that was really good. We drove home on Sunday and then back into training and work. And so nothing too much exciting happening. Just enjoying a shorter week at work, bit of a holiday, bit of a catch up. It's very hot up here, so trying to stay cool as much as possible. How about you?
Yeah, similar really. Last Sunday just wrapped up the weekend with the usual food shop and meal prep, back into a 4-day week of work, which is good. We always love a shorter week. Just gym, still trying to get this deficit going. Have had a little bit of a change, so that's good. So, and I'm not noticing the big calorie drop yet, so I'm not a hangry bitch. And then, today after we doing our little catch up, I'm going to get into painting the windows out the front of the house.
Nice. So for all our viewers on YouTube, you will notice that, the rest of Australia is having a heat wave and I'm sweltering here in New South Wales. And Kylie Jade is wearing a hoodie. So it's obviously not as hot down in Melbourne at this time. So we are recording
good old
on Australia.
Temperamental.
Yeah. The 4 seasons in one day kind of thing going on.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we are recording on Australia Day. So let's get into it. So let's talk about. So what is nutrition? So what does nutrition mean to you? I guess, Kylie.
I guess to sum it up in like just a dot point sort of sentence, nutrition is eating and nourishing your body with the correct nutrients that your body needs to survive and function. To wrap it up in general.
Yeah, 100%. So obviously we all need to eat. We need to survive. Our body needs food to survive. So we're going to be eating for the rest of our life. So it's important to know, I guess, what our body needs. I've got a definition of nutrition here. So nutrition is the science of how the body utilizes nutrients from food to function, grow, and to maintain health. So, and I guess nutrition is made up of some key components. So we've got our macronutrients. So do you want to talk a little bit about some of those, Kylie?
Yeah, so macronutrients are broken down into 3 different macros. We've got the carbohydrates, we've got fats, and we've also got proteins, all of which obviously our body requires to function properly, to keep us healthy, and to maintain that longevity. There may be a few myths around some of those and whether we should or shouldn't be eating them or too much of, but you and I are here to perhaps change people's minds about some of those macronutrients.
Yeah, 100%. We want to educate you on all of those things. So we've got our macronutrients, which Kylie explained. So our proteins, carbohydrates, and fats, and we've got our micronutrients, which are our vitamins and minerals. But first of all, let's talk about calories. So calories are a unit of measurement of energy. So in the context of nutrition, it's used to quantify the amount of energy that is obtained from consuming our food and our beverages. So calories, Kylie Jade. What would you like to say about calories?
Yeah, as you said, it's a unit of measure. It's a way of measuring the amount of food / energy that is going in or out of our body. A lot of focus on calorie counting in the health and fitness industry in recent years, and I'm glad to see that that is not, I don't know how to put it. It's not, this year it's becoming less and less of a focus, I suppose, and a lot of people are moving away from actually calorie counting every single calorie in every single bit of food that they put in their mouth, which is good because it can get obsessive and it can get quite toxic.
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
Yeah.
I think
Excuse
it's
the garbage
important.
truck.
It's all right. We'll block that out. It's garbage truck on Australia Day. It's very un-Australian.
I know.
Anyway, we digress. So I think it's important for people to understand, I think it's important to understand for people to count calories at some stage. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. To get an idea of what's actually going in, absolutely. It is an educational tool, but I don't think it should be used forever. I think, it should be.
I agree.
Yeah, helping you learn and then move away from it as best you can. There's a time and a place.
Definitely. Yeah. I think especially if you're starting off, it's really important to, if you've never understood or counted calories before, or you might have done lots of different diets, but you haven't really understood how it works. So obviously the body needs a certain amount of calories to produce energy to function. So if we put the body in a calorie deficit, which means, and we can do different types of deficits, obviously different durations as well. Some people might call it like a mini cut or things like that. So you can go, your deficit can be 100 to 200 calories below that threshold of what your body needs, or you can go a little bit more, I guess, and do like a 200 to 300 or even up to a 500 calorie deficit, depending on the person, how much weight you've got to lose. So, and that means that your body is getting less calories than it actually needs, and it will use the fat stores that it has. And in hindsight, you will lose weight. The scale will go down, and so that has been proven with research to be the most, the healthiest way to lose weight or to maintain your weight or to build muscle as well. So it's important that our listeners understand that.
Correct. And I think just to jump in there with the whole weight loss, weight gain thing, just for anyone that doesn't know, you need to eat 3,500 calories to gain a kilo, and in reverse, you need to subtract 3,500 calories to lose 1 kilo. So if you're only cutting 100 or 200 calories a day over 7 days, that's still only, let's say, 1,400 calories. You're not going to lose a kilo in a week, which is fine. Which is not, we don't aim for a kilo a week.
No, it's good. Like we want to lose that weight or that fat, sustainably. So it's better to lose it a small amounts, depending on, how much you've got to lose, obviously. If there's someone who's got a bit more weight to lose, then a kilo a week can be sustainable for them. But, for most people, it might be, it might just be 200 grams or 300 grams or 400 grams a week is a very sustainable weight loss. So it's important that, I guess that's where consistency comes in to play. So,
and not going too hard too fast, because you will feel too restricted, obviously, and you go around and around in circles.
You will. And we don't want anyone to feel restricted in any way. So it's important to understand that. I guess maybe just a little bit of a side note, talk about kilojoules as well, because a lot of people, might
get
and I know,
confused.
Nutrition Australia, they talk about kilojoules. They don't talk about calories. So a kilojoule and a calorie are not equal. I think that's the most important thing to understand there. So a kilojoule is also a unit of measurement, like a calorie. And it's really important to understand. I guess a lot of nutrition labels have their nutritional value in kilojoules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think particularly in Australia, I think it's an Australian unit of measure, whereas calories is more American. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. So I guess that's why Nutrition Australia, they use kilojoules and work in kilojoules.
Yeah, and the conversion rate, I think, to round it off, is 4.2 kilojoules to a calorie, or 4.19 something or other.
Yeah, you're spot on. 4.18. Yeah, so 4.18 kilojoules to one calorie. So definitely not equal. So you want to divide by 4 or times by 4 if you're going from a calorie to a kilojoule.
Yeah, quick math, divide or times by 4.
According to my calculations. But yeah, if you can divide, 2,000 by 4 or 2,000, go for it. But if you can't, then do what we do, I guess, and use a calorie to kilojoule calculator. So just Google, put it in there, and you can get your kilojoules to calories from there. So that's great. That's important to understand, I think, for people.
Just a little side note.
Yeah. So I think we have touched a little bit on calories in, calories out, but do we want to talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I did, touch on it slightly in the regards to fat loss, kilos lost, that sort of thing, how many calories you need to gain or subtract a kilo. But when measuring, it comes into, they're very particular and personalised, aren't they? It goes on your age, your weight, your height, all of that, to get just your daily requirements, not even to lose or gain fat, just to maintain the same physique weight that you are. So when everyone's going, oh, what calories are you on? It doesn't matter. That's what I want to put out there. It doesn't matter what anyone else is on, because they're so personalised.
Yeah, 100%. You're spot on. I love that. I think there's no point in comparing yourself to anyone else or thinking, oh, I've got to eat 1,200 calories, because she's eating 1,200 calories.
Yeah.
It's definitely, it's not the healthy thing to do. You want to be able to know what what you need to be eating for what
just your baseline, and then you can go from there.
Yeah. So that's great. Perfect.
For example, do you know what your maintenance calories are, Kylie?
Yeah, I do. So obviously, it's like you said, it's based on my age. So 46, my weight. So I'm sitting around 63 kilograms. It's based on my height. So I'm 170 centimeters, and it's based on my daily movement as well. So at the moment, I'm averaging about 12,000 steps. So that helps to bump up my calories as well. So
Absolutely.
I get, and that's a really important factor, I find, with clients, is no one really knows, they're not really, a lot of people aren't tracking their steps, or they're not knowing how much they're moving around. So I tend to,
or how much they're not moving.
They say, oh, I'm doing 5,000 steps a day, but in reality they're doing 2,000 to 3,000 steps a day. So I always kind of like people to see if they can just track that just for a week, just track their movement, their steps. The phones are great, the apps on the phone. You can look at your health app, and as most people carry their phones everywhere with them, so it can give you a fairly good idea of how many steps you're doing. So that's the first kind of thing I I get people to look at. But that's a really important factor in that calorie calculation. So yeah, getting back to the question, my maintenance sits around, and I always think maintenance is a range for me. It's not like an exact number of
a bang
calories.
on number.
So
No.
yeah, so it's around that 2,000 to 2,200 calorie mark for maintenance.
Yeah, see, and
If
in
I
comparison, like I'm a little younger. I'm nearly 37, and I'm a bit shorter. I'm 165, and my weight is 64-ish, and my maintenance, I average 12,000 steps too at the moment, and my maintenance is 1,900-ish, give or take.
yeah. So
And
it's fairly similar, but there is a bit of a difference there as well. So
absolutely.
yeah, and it's really important to understand that, like you're very, that's very different, 10 years, your height's a little bit different, and so yeah, it's really important to understand that, and that's
I suppose like my day job is sitting at a desk for 8 hours as well. I'm not doing a lot of untracked movement where I'm, I don't know, out and about shopping, walking around the shopping centre or anything like that, or working in hospitality waiting tables. I'm not doing that.
Yeah. So you have to work to get your movement. You have to make it a priority in your day, don't you?
Yeah.
So, and I feel like that movement part is one of the most important parts of health. Our bodies are designed to move, they're built to move. So you don't have to be running, you don't have to be doing, extreme cardio exercise, but just walking around is really, really important for us.
Just be conscious of how much you are sitting, I suppose, and try not to do that as often.
Yeah. And I think if you're going to track anything, tracking steps is a good thing to have.
Yeah, steps and calories to start, I feel.
Yeah. Let's talk about, and because, thinking about tracking steps, I think about the Apple Watches, the pedometers. And then I think about, how they say how many calories you burn when you're moving around or you're exercising. So what would you like to say to people about that?
They're a guide only. They're not accurate. Obviously, you can monitor your own watch and what it tells you, and have a guide of, like, today my movement calories were 500, and tomorrow it's 200. Yeah, cool. It's probably not accurate or right, but those numbers, I guess you can say, oh well, tomorrow I moved way less than I did the day before, or like today I moved way less than I did the day before because my output, in quotation marks, was less. But as far as it actually being accurate on the watch, they're not. It's just a tool.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and you don't pay attention to that, do you? Like, you don't take that into account in terms of your calories, do you? Like, you don't. Yeah, good.
No,
you don't. Yeah, and to anyone out there,
I don't eat back my burnt kilojoules.
No, it is not accurate. It is, like Kylie said, it's a guide only, but it is not accurate, and we don't add back calories or kilojoules into our daily nutrition intake if we're exercising. So exercising is great for heart health, for so many other reasons, but it's not.
But when it comes to calories,
we're not burning calories so we can eat more, I guess.
Yeah.
And I think, that's a trap that, a lot of people fall into without really knowing, I think.
Oh, I did in the beginning too. I thought, like, if I ran 5K in the morning, it means that I could eat back however many calories that burnt on my watch, and I was getting nowhere. And because it takes more than 5K to burn off your day's worth of food.
That's right. And I was 100% the same, exactly the same, running 5K, thinking you can eat more, and all you do is end up overeating and putting on weight. So
Correct.
I think that's a really important point for us to make there. Okay, let's talk about some macronutrients quickly.
Yeah, what's your favourite?
Let well, protein. What's your favorite?
I love carbs.
Oh, yeah. All right. So, which one shall we talk about first?
We'll go with yours, protein.
All right, protein. So, protein for me, I think, and same for you, if you're starting out, if you're starting tracking, we want you to track your calories and we want you to track your protein intake. Yes?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, you don't, you can track your fats and your carbohydrates, and that might be something a little bit more technical. But I think for people starting out, you want to start
Yeah.
simple. So, you want to start with calories and protein. So protein
Yeah.
is really essential for tissue repair, for growth, and for our immune function. So where do we get protein from? Everyone kind of thinks, red meat, I guess, and chicken, lean chicken. So that's definitely some of the best sources of protein. You can also get it from dairy, from legumes, from nuts, tofu, really other high sources of protein. I think that it also has amino acids, which are, the amino acids are the building blocks of protein. So that's really important for our nutrition as well. I feel
Yeah.
that, yeah, I think a lot of women, especially, are not getting enough protein in their diets. Would you say the
I
same, Kylie?
100% agree on that one. Yeah, 100%. As soon as I started tracking protein, I realised quite quickly I was definitely under eating by a
Yeah,
lot.
me too. Yeah, yeah, and protein is so important for our our tissues as we're getting older as women. It helps to
Yeah.
maintain what muscle mass we have, and when if we're trying to lose fat, and we're in a calorie deficit, we don't want to be losing what muscle we have.
I was just about to
So
say that it helps maintain our muscle mass while we are dieting. Yeah, big
yeah,
important
so
one there.
it's super super important. It's I guess as a general rule of thumb, try to aim for, now this is like a broad range, but 20 to 30 grams of protein per meal. I think,
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of women generally need around that, at least 100 grams to 120 grams of protein per day. Would you say that as a general
Yeah, I
rule?
think the recommended is something like zero point 0.8 to
Mm,
1.2 grams per kilo. Is that
per
right
kilo.
off the top of my head?
Yeah.
Is a
Yep,
range?
that
Yeah.
is. Yep,
Maybe even to
yeah.
2
So,
grams. Yeah.
yeah, so you can, I guess it depends on the amount of training that
Yeah.
that you're doing and your goals, but I think, yeah, as a general rule, that zero point 0.8 to 1.2 grams. And you can easily work that out just based on your current weight in kilograms. And
Yeah.
and then look at how much protein you should be getting in your day. And making protein a priority is really, really important. I actually find it quite difficult to get the required amount of protein per day. How do you feel?
Yeah, I used to. Obviously
Mm,
now I prioritize it and
mm,
I find it easier. And the bag of protein powder that I had in the pantry
mm.
for the days that I couldn't hit it, I'm going to less and less. So that's that's a positive.
That's good. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah. So I guess I honestly, like, I do struggle a little bit. So I do have to have a protein supplement every day,
Yeah.
generally. Yeah. At the moment, I'm mixing it in with yogurt. Whereas
Yeah,
I went
yum.
through a bit of a stage. Yeah, it's so good. I went through a stage where I was just having a protein shake, I guess, or just with water. But
Yeah.
and that was kind of, but I kind of, yeah, went off that a little bit. So now I'm mixing it with yogurt. And if it's a bit of a or Greek yogurt, it's got some good protein in it anyway. So
Yeah, and then
that's
it's sort of
kind of
like a
what's,
meal. It's not just a drink.
yeah, it's good. Like, it can even be like a dessert. It's
Yeah.
a bit of a
Well,
bit
actually,
of
I
a
had it last night for
treat.
dessert. I had the yogurt protein powder and some strawberries and stuff, and it was delicious.
Yeah. Yeah, good. So I guess it's important for people to remember the type of protein that you're getting and the quality of the protein. There's a lot of protein powders out there on the
Mm.
market. And yeah, so you can get whey protein, casein protein, plant protein. Like it would be very confusing for someone who's looking at a protein powder the first time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would recommend obviously looking at the label and comparing labels with protein powder is important. You want to look at like what additives they have in there as well. So yeah, but obviously it's just, it's a personal preference, the taste, the texture, things like that.
Yeah, some of the cheaper ones obviously are good with the
Mm,
on the wallet, but sometimes not the best on the
mm.
taste buds.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like anything, I guess, with food and the quality,
Mm.
depends. So go with something, reputable. I feel.
Yeah.
We're not in a position to make any recommendations at the moment, but we would love a sponsor. So,
Yeah,
but and I'm sure we have our own preferences ourselves
absolutely.
that we
And I've tried a lot.
yeah, and it's definitely a trial and error process as to what you what your preference is in terms of protein. But
Absolutely.
yeah, I think it's really important to try and get that protein, make protein a priority with each meal. So breakfast, lunch, and
Yeah,
dinner, and you'll be well on your way to meeting your protein targets.
absolutely.
All right, carbs, your
Carbs.
favorite. You get to
Yeah,
talk
because they're
about carbs.
delicious.
Now,
Who doesn't
I
like
beg to
pasta?
differ. Me,
Really?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So yeah, obviously, for those that don't know, carbs is probably our main energy source. They help control our blood glucose, blood sugar levels, insulin resistance. Yeah, helps with all sorts of stuff.
mm,
But I'm going to touch on just the energy source. A lot of people have been told in the past to avoid carbs. They make you fat. They do not make you fat unless you
mm,
overconsume. It
yeah,
is our body's main energy source. And if we're restricting carbs or not eating carbs at all, obviously our body is restricted in what it can use for energy. It does turn to fat, but we want to
mm,
give it its main, I guess, what's the word? It's priority. It wants to prioritize
mm,
carbohydrates, so let's just give it to it. They don't make you fat. Um,
no. Eating too
yeah,
many calories makes you fat.
correct. Carbs are not the devil.
No, they're not. They're really, really, they're super important, and they need to be a priority in your diet. So carbs are found in obviously our grains, so our breads, our pastas, our rice,
Rice, potato.
yeah, the potatoes, fruits and vegetables as well. Also
Yeah,
have are a source of carbohydrates. Uh,
obviously, as
we've
well
got
as
our
sugar as well.
mhm. Yeah, yeah. So we've got our simple carbs, so our sugar, like Kylie Jade
Yeah,
just mentioned, and we've got our complex carbs, which are like our fiber and our starch. So fiber super important as well in our
correct.
diets. So that's our main source of fiber generally is from our carbohydrates. So our pasta, rices, vegetables, fruits.
Yeah,
So
that's
you
another one
can't.
that I sort of get my clients to like not so much track, but be mindful of at least hitting a certain amount of fiber a day, because that means that they are
Yeah,
eating a bit more whole foods, more fruits, more vegetables, and not so much
yeah.
processed junk.
Yeah, that's so true, so true. Really important, to maintain that, the bodily function healthily. Make sure we're having
Yeah,
good movements every day, or every
correct.
second day. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah. So, yeah, we love our carbs. They're super important. If anyone ever says you need to, cut out carbs, it's really not healthy. It is not
No.
a healthy way. Our body needs them. They're really
There are
important
some
in.
obviously circumstances where we can slightly reduce carbs to help with
Hmm,
health conditions. Like I have
hmm,
a friend of the family who keeps carbs a little to a minimum because there is some medical issues there. But a general healthy person, I would never recommend to reduce carbs at all.
Yeah, 100%. They're really important for women in regulating our hormones as well. So yeah, it's really important that we have those whole grains in our diet on a daily basis. So yeah, that's good.
Correct.
All right, fats.
Good old fats. Another
Good
one
old
that
fats.
apparently makes you fat, but does not.
Fat does not make you fat. So fat is super important to our body and its energy needs. It's really important for energy storage. It's important for cell structure and also for our hormone production. So different types of fats. Yeah. So you've got your saturated and your unsaturated fats, omega-3 and our omega-6 fatty acids as well. So some good sources of fats. What's some of your go-tos?
My go-to is definitely avocado. Love it.
Yeah. Me too.
I cook with olive oil because that's another main source of fats. And then I like the fatty fish to get those omega-3s in, like your salmon. My daughter calls it pink fish. She's been saying that since she was 3. Can we have pink fish?
Oh, I love that. So cute.
Yeah, they're the top 3 that I would go to for fats.
Yeah, they're definitely my top 3 as well. Some nuts and seeds as well. I think if you want a little bit of
I go the peanut butter, just the natural peanut butter, peanuts only, no added stuff. I'm a sucker for peanut butter.
Yeah, I like peanut butter. I like it in a smoothie too. I think it's a good addition to like peanut butter, banana smoothie for breakfast. Really good.
Yeah,
covering a lot of the food groups, high in protein, and get some good fat. Just a little bit of fat each meal is great if you can. So if
and
you're
I
cooking
think
with
the
olive oil,
requirements for females on that no lower than like 40-45 grams a day to just support your hormone health as well.
Yeah. So really, really super important that we are incorporating some healthy fats into our diet. And look, it's perfectly fine to have some unhealthy fats, from time to time, and if that's fitting into your goals and your calories for the day, then absolutely go for it. So, yeah, tastes good.
It does.
Yeah. We'll just quickly touch on minerals. So they're also vital for our nutrition and for our health. Some of the really important ones for women: calcium, iron, zinc, magnesium. So they're really important in terms of maintaining, our healthiest self, especially as women. As we're getting older, obviously calcium for our bones, and so it's important to get some of those in your diet, I guess. So calcium from our dairy products, iron in our red meats, or substitutes if you're vegetarian. So I don't know. A lot of women take supplements for vitamins, and if you're eating a nutritious, balanced diet, you shouldn't need supplements. But my point of view is it's not going to hurt. It's not going to harm anything.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think, Kylie?
Yeah, I agree. If you're eating a well-balanced, nutritious diet, you should be getting most of the vitamins and minerals and stuff that we require, but it's not going to hurt to take a multivitamin every morning if that's what you feel like you need to do. I'm not going to give out medical advice. See your doctor about full-on supplements, but a multivitamin, I can't see that would hurt.
Yeah, no, I don't think. Obviously, the body will discard anything it doesn't need. So the levels of vitamins are very technical. So it's if you're short in one thing, then a multivitamin isn't going to hurt just to top you up a little bit in that department.
Correct.
So.
And as you said, touched on with the vegetarians and vegans, they struggle perhaps with iron. So maybe seeing a doctor or whatever and suggesting an iron tablet supplement or something like that won't hurt.
Yeah, definitely recommend, anyone who's starting on a bit of a health journey, that they go to their doctor and just get some baseline bloods taken. So that you know what your levels are at, and if you need some supplementation, then you can sort that there and then that's going to help you along the way. So
Yeah,
I think it's really important to have that baseline for all of us.
absolutely.
Good. So I think the last thing we might just quickly touch on, because I think we've pretty much covered everything, is just hydration is obviously super important with our nutrition.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we need to stay very hydrated, especially at the moment in the heat wave, if you're in the heat wave states.
Except for
so, yeah, you don't need to drink as much water if you're in Melbourne today. No, definitely the recommendation of 2 litres a day, if you can, 8 glasses. It helps maintain all of our bodily functions. And so
I tell to push my clients to drink a bit more water. I tell them 1.5 to 2 litres minimum to be a human. And then for every hour of strenuous exercise, add a litre.
That's
so
awesome.
If they're at the gym
that's
for
awesome
45
advice.
minutes lifting weights, add extra, 500 mils to a litre for your day.
That's awesome advice, especially during summer. If you're sweating a little bit more, and your body's losing that water and losing that fluid. So, and drinks like coffee and carbonated soft drinks don't count, unfortunately.
So, I don't count them.
No, as
I count them as calories.
Coffee, right? Yeah. Yes, 100%. So get yourself a good drink bottle. My partner always says I have a bit of a drink bottle problem because I have so many. So good drink bottle.
That's funny. And I've got that many in the top cupboard, and I use a dirty old pump bottle.
I've been through the big 2 litre bottle and the insulated bottle. And the Stanley cups are super trendy right now. I don't have one of those, but I like my drink bottle. I don't have a problem drinking like room temperature water. So a lot of people can't drink room temperature water. It has to be cold.
I prefer it.
But I don't have a problem. I can drink it either way, is fine. Obviously, like at the gym, it's good to have a little bit of colder water, or if you've been exercising, things like, or been for a walk or something. But I don't have to have an insulated drink bottle. I've
got one for work just because.
I like to have a straw. I find I can drink more if I have a straw, and it's got to be a big straw. I bought a bottle recently from Aldi, I think, and it looked really good, and I was super excited. But the straw was too narrow, so I couldn't gulp as much as I like.
Got to have the right straw.
Very important. So get your water into you. I think anything else you want to add for today?
Not particularly. Just don't put too much pressure and stress on yourself to tick off every single little box and make sure that you're getting every single little macro and micronutrients in. As Kylie said, like just if you're starting to track and calorie count and go on your own little weight loss journey, or just trying to be a healthier version, just track your calories and hit those protein targets and throw in some fruit and veg to start off with.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, that's awesome advice.
That's my leaving advice.
Keep it simple and so... All right. Well, before we end, I just wanted to give a big shout out to my partner, Nathan, who has been helping us produce this podcast. And
yay, Nathan.
Both of us are not tech savvy in any way, shape or form. So we could not get it out without him. So big thank you to him. And thanks, Kylie. And we'll be back next week with we're going to do fitness basics. So
Yeah.
Hang out
Can't
for
wait for
that
that one.
one. Yeah. Cheers. Have a great week.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.